Deuteronomy chapter 1, the first discourse of Moses, elders appointed. Moses said, "The Lord our God spoke to us at Horeb. You have stayed long enough at this mountain. Leave this place and go into the mountainous territory of the Amorites and into its neighboring peoples in the Arabah, the hill country, the lowlands, the Negev and the sea coast, into the land of the Canaanites and to Lebanon as far as the great river, the Euphrates. Look, I have placed this land before you. Enter and take possession of the land which the Lord swore to give to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and to all their descendants after them. I said to you at that time, I alone cannot be responsible for all of you. The Lord your God has multiplied you, and now you are as numerous as the stars in heaven. May the Lord the God of your fathers increase you 1,000 times more and bless you just as he has promised you. But how can I alone resolve all your difficulties and your disputes? Look for wise, prudent, and experienced men from each of your tribes, and I will appoint them as your leaders." And you answered, "What you ask us to do makes sense to us." Thus I chose from among the heads of your tribes wise and experienced men, and appointed them over you as commanders of thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens, and also as overseers for each tribe. At that time I also gave this order to the judges: attend to the complaints of your brothers and judge with justice the lawsuit between an Israelite and his brother, or between an Israelite and a resident alien. Do not be influenced by anyone when you judge. The weak and the powerful should be equal to your eyes, and do not be afraid of any human being, because judgment belongs to God. And if there arises a case which is very difficult for you, refer this to me and I will attend to it. At that time I gave you instructions regarding everything you need to know. Scouts dispatched. Finally, having left Horeb, we passed through that wide and terrible desert that we saw on the way to the hill country of the Amorites, as the Lord our God had commanded us. And we arrived at Kadesh Barnea. I then said to you, "We have come to the hill country of the Amorites, which the Lord our God is giving us. Look, the Lord has placed before you the land. Go up, take possession of it as the Lord the God of your fathers has said. Do not be afraid or be discouraged." Then all of you approached me and said, "Let us send some men before us to explore the land and map out the roads leading to the cities where we are to go." This suggestion made sense to me, so I took 12 men from among you, one from each tribe, who set out and went up the hill until they came to the valley of Eshcol, and they spied out the land and brought them back its produce. And upon their return they gave us their report. They told us, "The land which the Lord is giving us is a fertile land." Threats of rebellion. Nevertheless, you did not want to go up into the hill country and rebelled against the commands of the Lord, and you began to murmur in your tents. It is in hatred that the Lord brought us out of Egypt, to hand us over into the power of the Amorites to destroy us. Where shall we go? Our brothers have disheartened us by reporting that the people who live in the land are stronger and taller than us. The cities are great and are fortified with walls reaching up to the sky. We have also seen the descendants of the Anakim there. Then I said to you, "Do not be terrified and have no fear. The Lord your God who leads you will fight for you and do all that you saw him do before your eyes in Egypt. You have also seen what he did in the desert. Now he carried you all the way that you have traversed, just as a father carries his son, until you came to this place. In spite of all of this, you would not believe the Lord your God, who went before you in all your journeys to seek out for you a camping place, to show you the way you must go. He went before you in the fire by night and in the cloud by day. When the Lord heard that rumblings of your complaints, he was angry and he swore, Not one from this perverse generation will see the fertile land which I swore to give to your fathers, except Caleb son of Jephunneh. He shall see it, and I will give him and his children the land upon which he trod, because he has faithfully followed the Lord. The Lord was angry with me as well as because of you, and he said to me, neither will you enter there, but your attendant Joshua son of Nun will enter there. Encourage him, because he will be the one to give Israel its inheritance. Your little ones who you thought would be taken captive, and your children who do not know that today the difference between good and evil, they will enter there. To them I will give the land, and they shall inherit it. But as for yourselves, turn round and set out for the desert in the direction of the Sea of Reeds. Abortive invasion. And you answered me, we have sinned against the Lord our God. Now we will go and wage war as he has commanded us. So each one took his weapon and thought it would be no problem to go up into the hill countryside. But the Lord told me, tell them not to go up and wage war, because I am not with them, or else they will be defeated by their enemies. I told you this, but you would not listen. You disobeyed the order of the Lord, and defiantly went up into the hill country instead. Then the Amorites who lived in the hill country came out to confront you. They pursued you like bees from Seir to Hormah, and gave you a crushing defeat. And you returned and mourned in the presence of the Lord, who did not want to hear you, nor listen to your voice. So you were to remain at Kadesh for many days, and you know how long it was. Deuteronomy chapter 2, Wanderings in the desert. We therefore turned back and set out towards the desert by the way leading to the Sea of Reeds, as the Lord had commanded me. And we went around the mountains of Seir for a long time. Then the Lord said to me, you have been going around these mountains long enough. Now turn and go north. Give this command to the people. You are to pass through the territory of your brothers, the children of Esau, who live in Seir. They will be afraid of you, but be very careful that you do not challenge them to war, because I will not give you even the piece of ground on which you stand. I have given to Esau the mountains of Seir as his possession. Buy food from them with money for your eating and water for your drinking. For the Lord your God has blessed you in all your undertakings. He has been present in your journey through this vast desert. The Lord has been with you for 40 years, and you have never been in want. So we passed through the land of our brothers, the children of Esau, who live in Seir. We left the Arabah road that led to Elath and Ezion-Geber, and we turned round and took the road leading into the desert of Moab. Then the Lord said to me, do not harass Moab or challenge them to war, for I will not give you any of the land they possess, because I have given Ar to the children of Lot as their possession. The Emim formerly lived there, a great and numerous people, and tall as the Anakim. And just like the Anakim, they were also known as giants, but the Moabites called them Emim. And the Horites also used to live in Seir formerly, but the children of Esau dispossessed them and exterminated them, and settled in their place, just as Israel did in the land which the Lord gave them as their possession. And now rise up and cross the river Zered. Then we crossed the river Zered. We traveled for 38 years from Kadesh Barnea until we crossed the river Zered, until the entire generation of the men old enough to fight had perished from the camp, just as the Lord had sworn they would. For indeed the hand of the Lord was against them, until he had completely eliminated them from the camp. When finally all those who were old enough to fight had died, the Lord said to me, today you will pass through the territory of Moab, facing the city of Ar, and you will meet the Ammonites. Do not attack or defy them, for I will not give you any of the land of the Ammonites, because I have given the land to the children of Lot as their possession. This land was also considered the land of the giants, who formerly lived there and whom the Ammonites called Zamzumim. They were a great and numerous people and tall as the Anakim. But the Lord destroyed them in the presence of the Ammonites, and in their place he made the Ammonites to dwell. He had done the same for the descendants of Esau who lived in Seir by destroying the Horites. The descendants of Esau took possession of their land and are there to this very day. He dealt in the same manner with the Avim who lived in the camps as far as Gaza. The Captorim coming from Captor destroyed them and occupied their place. Sion defeated. Rise up, break camp and cross the river Arnon. Look, I have given into your hands Sihon the Amorite, the king of Heshbon, and his land. Begin right now to occupy his land and challenge him to war. And I, for my part, will begin to instill among the peoples under heaven the dread and fear of you. They will tremble and be in utter dread when they hear reports of you. From the desert of Kedemoth, I send messengers to Sihon, the king of Heshbon, with these words of peace. Let me pass through your land. I will keep strictly to the road, turning aside neither to the right nor to the left. We request you to sell us food for money that we may eat, and give us water for money that we may drink. Only let us through, as the children of Esau who lived in Seir and the Moabites who dwell in Ar did for us, until we cross the Jordan and enter the land which the Lord our God is giving us. But Sihon the king of Heshbon would not let us pass through his land, for the Lord had made his spirit stubborn and his heart adamant, so that he might give him into your hands, as it remains to this day. And the Lord said to me, realize that I have begun to give Sihon and his land over to you. Begin conquering his land. Then Sihon came out with all his men to meet us in battle at Jahaz. And the Lord our God gave him over to us, and we defeated him together with his sons and all his people. At that time we captured all the cities and placed them under curse of destruction, killing all the inhabitants, men, women, and children, without leaving one survivor, except the animals which were part of the plunder of the cities you have occupied. From Ariel, the city of the bank of the river Arnon, up to Gilead, there was neither a village nor a town which we could not capture. The Lord our God gave everything over us. You did not, however, touch the land of the Ammonites, the region of the river Jabbok, and the cities in the hill country, that is, all the places which the Lord our God forbade us to take. Psalm chapter 71. Prayer of an aged person. In you, O Lord, I seek refuge. Let me not be disgraced. In your injustice, deliver me and rescue me. Turn your ear to me and save me. Be my rock of refuge, a stronghold to give me safety. For you are my rock and my fortress. Rescue me, O my God, from the hand of the wicked, from the grasp of the cruel and violent. For you, O Lord, have been my hope, my trust, O God, from my youth. I have relied on you from birth. From my mother's womb you brought me forth. I will praise you continually. I have become like a portent to many, but you are my strong refuge. My mouth is filled with your praise, announcing your glory day by day. Do not cast me off in my old age. Do not desert me when my strength fails. For my enemies speak ill of me, seeking my life. They hatch a conspiracy. They say, God has forsaken him. Let us pursue and seize him, for there is no one to rescue him. O God, be not far from me, my God. Make haste to help me. Let my accusers be destroyed in shame. Let those who seek my ruin be covered with disgrace and scorn. But I shall also hope in you without ceasing, and praise you more and more. My lips will proclaim your justice and tell of your salvation all day long, though I knew not their number. I will come to praise your strength, O Lord my God, and announce your justice, yours alone. You have taught me from my youth, and I still proclaim your marvelous deeds. When I grow old and gray, do not abandon me, O God, till I declare your might to the next generation and your power to all generations to come. Your justice, O God, reaches to heaven. You have done great things. Who is like you, O God? You have sent me a hardship and misery, but once more you will revive me. From the depths of the earth you will bring me up again. You will increase my honor and comfort me once again. I will praise you with the harp for your faithfulness, O my God. I will sing your praise with the lyre, O Holy One of Israel. My lips will shout for joy as I sing your praises, my soul too, which you have rescued. I will sing of your justice all day long, for those who sought to do me harm have been confused and put to shame. Mark chapter 13, verse 1 to 20. The eschatological discourse. As Jesus left the temple, one of the disciples said, "Look, Master, at the enormous stones and wonderful things here." And Jesus answered, "You see these great buildings? Not one stone will be left upon another, but all will be torn down." After a while, when Jesus was sitting on the Mount of Olives, facing the temple, Peter, James, John, and Andrew approached him privately and asked, "Tell us when this will be. What signs will be given to us before all this happens?" Then Jesus began to tell them, "Take care that no one misleads you. Many will come taking my name and say, 'I am he,' and they will deceive many people. When you hear about war and threats of war, do not be troubled. This must occur, but the end is not yet. Nation will fight nation, and kingdom will oppose kingdom. There will be earthquakes everywhere and famines too, and this will be like the first pains of childbirth. Be on your guard, for you will be arrested and taken to Sanhedrins. You will be beaten in synagogues, and you will stand before governors and kings for my sake to bear witness before them. And the proclamation of the gospel to all the nations must come first. So when you are arrested and brought to trial, do not worry about what you are to say, but say whatever is given you in that hour, for it is not you who speak, but the Holy Spirit. Brother will betray brother to death, and the father his child. Children will turn against their parents and have them put to death, and you will be hated by all for my name's sake, but whoever holds out to the end will be saved. The Great Tribulation. So when you see the abomination that causes desolation set up where it should not be, let the reader understand. Then let those in Judea flee to the mountains. Whoever is on the housetop must not come down to take anything with him. Whoever is in the field must not turn back to fetch his cloak. How hard it will be then for pregnant women and nursing mothers. Pray that it may not happen in winter, for the distress of those days will be greater than any that has been from the beginning when God created the world until now and will ever be again. And if the Lord had not shortened that time, no one would survive, but he has shortened it for the sake of his chosen ones.